baseball is 90% mental and the other half is physical. I'm not great at numbers at all. But that math-challenged quote comes from Yankees great Yogi Berra, a player beloved both on the field and as a wordsmith. And there's a new documentary about him, and I sat down with Yogi's granddaughter and the film's director to chat about a few things we can all learn from the Hall of Famer's legacy.
Spring training. The place is Phoenix, Arizona.
Baseball is one of America's beloved pastimes, and one player whose fame and impact transcended the baseball diamond was Yogi Berra.
Then Yogi hits one out into right field.
I want people to remember what a tremendous baseball player my grandfather was, but I also want people to realize that as great as he was on the baseball field, he was a better human being.
And we all get to learn about Yogi in Sony's documentary, It Ain't Over. And we sat down with Lindsay Berra, Yogi's granddaughter, and director of the film, Sean Mullen, to discuss things we can all learn from Yogi's legacy. Starting with, Yogi lived every day with childlike enthusiasm.
He had this opportunity to live the rest of his life when so many others did not.
Yup, Yogi served in the U.S. Navy and was a D-Day vet.
Grandpa's experience in World War II and in the D-Day invasion.
So
he had so much fun playing baseball that, I don't think that was ever work for him a day in his life. Maybe just hearing that story can inspire other folks to look at each day as a gift without having to go through the life or death situation.
Victory for the Yanks, 2-1.
Next, he always had respect for others, even the opposing teams.
It's the right thing to do, and he just always did the right thing. You do respect your opponents, and I think Yogi, he was this conduit of truth.
And if he lost a game, he wouldn't blame anyone else but himself.
And take the brunt of his own mistakes and learn from them and grow into a better person. And you can't do that if you're placing the blame externally.
And he was never afraid to speak his truth.
He was just very able to cut through all the BS and call a spade.
And a lot of the things he said in his own way, affectionately referred to as Yogiisms.
I like the existential ones. If the world were perfect, it wouldn't be, and the future ain't what it used to be.
He was lost, and one time he said, "Yeah, we're lost, but we're making great time." I love that.
Here on Yogi Berra Day.
And those words turned into a lot of sound advice.
Grandpa was always the best person to go to because he was going to cut to the chase and tell you right away. Sometimes it was tough because the right thing isn't always the easy thing to do, and you'd be like, oh shoot, he's totally right. This is what I have to do, and oh darn, it was just the way he saw the world.
Finally, he teaches us to love ourselves.
He was called an ape and a gorilla, and Joe DiMaggio said he looked like a fire hydrant, and somebody wrote that he was too ugly to be a Yankee.
But Yogi just let all of that roll off his back.
Grandpa was just so secure with who he was as a human being. He didn't care what anyone had to say about who he was because he already knew who he was. I wish we could all be so self-assured.
Thanks, Yogi, for being a glowing example of a great baseball player and human being.